You're listening to the Backlog Podcast with host Kevin Lane, and we're talking about gaming backlogs. Games we're playing today, games we should have played in the past, and games we'll be looking forward to playing in the future. Be sure to join us live by following us on twitch.tv/Backlog Network, where you can get involved and interact with other backloggers. Be sure to check out our website, thebacklogpod.com, where you can find gaming news and reviews. Now, gear up and get ready. It's time for the Backlog Podcast. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. It's Backlog time! Welcome to episode number 81 of the Backlog Podcast. I am your host, Mr. Kevin Lane. This is my son, Jagger Lane, and we are coming to you quarantined straight out of Jacksonville, Florida. And Jagger's he's out of school right now. He is got a couple of weeks. Looks like it's going to be almost a full month at least before he can go back. Yeah, and he's excited about it. So here we are. We're recording a podcast, and we'll see. Well, maybe we'll keep him on it for a little bit if he can do a good job. I don't know. I'll be the judge of that. So, anyways, so Jagger, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about some of the games you've been playing lately?
Oh, sure.
Aside from the games that we're going to talk about today, what are some of the games you've recently been playing?
I've recently been playing Fortnite.
Okay.
A lot of
And
Fortnite.
so this is the season
12.
Season 12?
Yeah,
No.
it is. It's Chapter 2, Season 2, though.
Yeah, Chapter 2, Season 2. And what's been going on in the story of Fortnite?
Well, after the meteor hit with the 0 point after that event in Season 10, then it made Chapter 2, which is like a whole new world. And then after Chapter 1 of the new season, the new chapter, there were shadows and ghosts.
Shadows and Ghosts?
Yeah.
Okay. And what?
You can choose your side of each character. Each character you unlock in the battle pass, you get to choose the light side or the dark side.
Okay, and what side have you chosen?
I didn't get to choose any yet. I didn't buy the battle pass yet.
Oh, because you haven't earned it. I see. So, for all you kids watching the podcast and the Twitch channel, let Jagger be an example. You don't always get what you want. Sometimes you got to earn it. And, I don't know, maybe over the next couple of weeks, Jagger will do what it takes to earn the battle pass. I don't know. If he's got it in him.
I did the laundry today. So.
He did the laundry today, but he didn't like it. He didn't like doing it.
Nobody likes doing it.
No, nobody likes doing laundry. So, hey, you know what? The laundry is the reason that we have backlogs. I blame everything on laundry. Aside from Fortnite, what other games have you been playing on your PlayStation?
Just Cause 4.
Just Cause 4. Now, okay. So you really liked playing Just Cause 3.
Yeah.
What about Just Cause 4
I love Just
do you
Cause 4
really
even
like?
more.
Yeah, what about it, though? What? Because I know you don't play the storyline, which is fine.
Yeah.
But what do you do in Just Cause 4?
You can blow stuff up. You can fight bad guys. You can hijack people's cars.
Okay.
Like Grand Theft Auto.
Just like Grand Theft Auto, but you're a good guy, right?
Yeah.
So you're like going through and you're taking out only bad guys, right? You never attack the good guys, right?
Well, sometimes Wesley does.
Oh boy, here it goes.
He hijacks their cars and then runs them over.
So let everybody know, people who don't play Just Cause 4 or Just Cause 3, let them know what it's all about.
Okay.
Because this is a great game for the backlog. It's on my backlog. I haven't played it yet. Just Cause 3 was one of my favorite games of all time, and I gotta say that because Basically, you're this character, and it's a very open world environment. You're on an island. It's a large island, and the goal is to defeat the enemy, like the I guess you have this evil government or communist type bad guys that have come over and taken over the land. And you're this guy named Rico. You have all sorts of gadgets. You can use a wingsuit. You can practically fly anywhere you want to go. You can grapple to anything. It's very unrealistic, but it makes it for a very fun, almost like Spider-Man on steroids. Because in Spider-Man, when you're using your web to get around the city, it's the same idea, but you can do so much more because you can grapple onto vehicles and you can attach vehicles together. You can attach a vehicle to a helicopter, like a truck to a helicopter, and then the helicopter will try to take off. And there's so many things you can do, and the physics of it are built really, really well. You could take a rocket or like a gas tank, right? And if you shoot a gas tank, it'll start to light, and then it will shoot off into the sky. Well, you can attach that gas tank to a person or a car, and then you can shoot the gas tank, and it will shoot off into the sky, and then whatever it's attached to will go with it. So there's a lot of really crazy things you can do in Just Cause 3 that they've adapted and brought into Just Cause 4.
Yeah.
So what,
Even the wingsuit.
Even the wingsuit.
And the parachute.
Well, what's new in Just Cause 4 that wasn't in Just Cause 3?
Well, now you can buy like a pass or something that lets you weaponize your wingsuit. And you can finally change Rico, which you couldn't do in the other one.
What do you mean you could change him?
You can make his looks different. You can change the parachutes. You can also change the wingsuits.
So you have different skins and things like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit like Fortnite in Season 7.
Oh, boy. Fortnite Season 7. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Okay, so Just Cause 4, for those of you who like stories, it's got a pretty good story. Again, you're trying to take over the government or overthrow the bad guys who have taken over. Basically, you capitalize on bringing down statues and bringing down the regime, right? Once you secure an area, it becomes a good guy area, and then you can get the equipment and stuff and the guns and ammo and move on. And as you capture more of the island turns good. Goes from red to blue or red to green or whatever.
Red to blue.
And then obviously there's a story that goes along with it that where you try to take out specific enemies and things.
I don't actually know the story to it. I know the story of Just Cause 3, but not Just Cause 4.
Yeah, it's good for, if you're okay with your kids playing this type of game, it's good for just going around and messing around and having fun.
The type of game is like explosions stuff.
Yeah, a lot of explosions. And sure, yeah, they go around and they attack people and stuff like in Call of Duty or like in Grand Theft Auto, but it's a video game. And my sons both know that it's a video game. They're not going to go out and do that kind of stuff in the real world, so I'm not too worried. But it also, what I like about it is it shows their dynamic thought process. Like, what can they do? What can they make happen? They're understanding physics and they don't even know it because they try to do different things. There's balloons now, and you can like take a person or a vehicle and shoot a balloon at them. It wraps around them and shoots them up into the sky. And both Wesley and Jagger, you hear them laughing in the other room. While I'm sitting in my office, I hear them laughing while they're playing it because they're doing crazy daisy chain type maneuvers with these grappling hook, balloon, whatevers. So definitely a game for the backlog because Just Cause tends to go on sale. It comes out regular price $60, and then there's like an enhanced edition or whatever. It has add-ons. Wait for it. Every time a Just Cause comes out, it ends up being under $20 somehow for the whole thing. So I think it's been out for over a year. I think it's ready for. I think it's already been on discount a couple times. But keep an eye out for it. Throw it in like a wish list or something. And when the price goes down, you can, if you use PlayStation or there's a website called psprices.com where you can, and I think it probably has Xbox on there and PC as well. It's just the one I go to is PS Prices. I imagine you can go in, and what you do is you build your profile and the games that you like. You have a wish list, and every time that goes on sale, boom, you get an email in your inbox, hey, it's on sale. And then you can choose to buy it or not. I definitely say add this one to the wish list. So you've been playing Fortnite. We can tell because you're a llama.
Yeah.
And you've been playing Just Cause 4. Any other games that you've been playing regularly on the Switch or the PlayStation or the phone?
Phone. Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, anything.
PC.
Oh, yeah. What about on the PC?
Or the Xbox.
Or the Xbox?
Or...
I'm asking you. What games?
Wait, what games I play on the phone and Xbox and stuff?
I'm saying, are there any other games that you play? Are those the only 2 games you've been playing?
No.
What other games do you play?
I've also... I was playing Roblox. I did play Roblox, but now...
Yeah, we don't let him play Roblox too much. And I don't know. Maybe you can give me some comments here. Other parents who are out there.
Well, there's millions of people playing Roblox.
Well, there is millions of people playing Roblox, and we have a lot of fights over this because I don't see anything good in Roblox. Not yet. Not right now. And the reason I don't see anything good is because it always ends in an argument. And, we're not going to get into it too much here, but at the end of the day, I think one of the problems with Roblox is there's no, real success factor. You're constantly just pushing forward.
In some games, like obbies, which are obstacle courses, whenever you complete the obby, you can sometimes feel accomplished because you defeated that game.
There you go. But how often do you feel accomplished, and how often do you play specific games to feel accomplished? A lot of times in these games with Roblox, you're just running around and chasing each other and trying to change outfits, and because there's a lot of weirdos out there, and the weirdos could potentially socially engineer kids on the site.
Hackers.
I just say stay away. And I get it. People like it.
If I see anybody that looks like a hacker, I'm just leaving the game.
Well,
Whoa.
It's not just about the hackers, though. It's about understanding that that even someone who doesn't seem like a hacker could be a bad guy in real life, like someone trying to do bad things.
If anybody's out there that's watching this that plays Roblox, you should know that there's no actual games that give out free Robux. They're just scamming or hacking. That's
a really, really good idea to say that, because how many times have you said, "Oh, I watched this YouTube video and it says I get free Robux"? No, you don't get free Robux. Just like you don't get free Apex coins or free Fortnite V-Bucks. People don't just give that stuff away. There's usually, if they are giving anything, it's a contest, and just for watching a video, you're not going to get free stuff. So don't let that stuff fool you.
One time my friend that fell for it, and then he lost all of his Robux.
There you go. You didn't tell me about that. There's people out there trying to steal all that stuff.
It was at my old school.
Yep. But there's also, just the idea that they never want to get off of it, because there is very little sense of accomplishment. So it always feels like you want to play more, you want to get to the next thing, but the next thing doesn't have an end, And it's a lot like the problem with Fortnite and games like that, where there's this perpetual, they give you little bits of success.
Like if you get level 100.
Exactly. Well, that's an accomplishment, but it's like the little pieces in between, and then once you get to level 100, they add on more things. So it's always a little bit. You always need to play another game to get another thing. Because I
get on the level 200 in season 11, chapter 2, season 1.
And what did you get?
I got I got a new banner.
Was it cool? Was it worth it?
It was no.
See, it's always, it feels like it's gonna be worth it. It feels like
level 200. People don't usually use those.
Yeah,
they don't change it. Sometimes they do, but most of the time they don't.
Most of the time they don't. But you want to get it all because you can, because it's free and it's just one more game, just one more game, just one more game. So that's kind of the problem with a lot of these games that come out.
Just Cause 4, you can actually be accomplished because there's lots of little challenges you can accomplish.
Well, same idea though. All these little challenges don't really add up to anything.
They do add up for you to complete that, and then
to complete the level or to complete the situation.
Yeah.
It's just, when I was growing up, when I was his age, 8, the games you play, I mean, there is no 8 million different paths to go. It was like
You just had to put in a coin.
No. Well, yeah, at the
Some.
arcade. But I'm talking like if you play in Zelda, you play Zelda, right? And you get to the end, and you have beaten the game. There's no 800 different storylines within Zelda back in the day. There is now, you know. I mean, even actually Breath of the Wild isn't so bad. It's more of a linear storyline.
I like Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild's a great game. It's one of the best games in the history of games as far as people rating it. Neither of us have beat it yet. Maybe we should try one of these days.
I'm trying to beat it. I keep going in the castle.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, get out of here, Backlund. I'll hit you with a Backlund bat. Or go with the legend sword.
A legend sword. See, I don't even know. I didn't play enough of that yet.
A sword.
Because I get stuck on games like Fortnite. I mean, I'm over here talking trash about it, but I get sucked right into the same things. You know, the dailies, this and that.
But I just can't get into the volcano inside of it.
The volcano in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll have to do some playthroughs on the stream and try to beat it. Get some help from the audience.
Okay.
But yeah, so I guess what I was just trying to say is that I like to feel accomplished or have my kids feel accomplished when they're playing games, and a lot of these games don't allow for that. It's fine. Stop making all this noise.
I'm trying to put my chair up a little bit.
No, you need to sit up. Put your butt back. There you go.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, who would have thought? So, it's hard. It's hard to get the games to get these kids feel accomplished. But on the other side, I used to play baseball or football in the yard, and I was the smallest kid in the town. So, I never ever successfully did anything good. Really, I mean, no one ever wanted me on their team, and but I still went out there and did it. So what's the difference, right? If you're just continuously playing a game like Fortnite over and over and over, or going out in the yard and playing ball, one gives you exercise, that's great. Well, the other one's using your brain a lot. So, it's all in what you want. It's all in what you're looking for. And if they like it, it's no big deal. But games like Roblox, I just can't do the fighting at the end of it. I just can't take the fighting. When I say it's time for bed and it's already an hour or 2 hours after your bedtime. That's the stuff that I don't like. But all that being said, we have some games to talk about.
Yeah, we do.
So, some of these games here were provided to us through different venues like terminals or, Sandbox Strategies, I believe it's called. And here, let me see here. Yeah, Sandbox Strat. And so what they do is, I put in a request for some of these games, and we get them and we get a chance to play them. And supposed to give a review, supposed to talk about them on our streams and whatnot. And so when I do my Twitch streams and stuff, I'll talk about these games a little bit. But Jagger gets to play these games as well, so I figured let's get him in here. Sit up a little bit, bud. Let's get him in here and talk about it. Crisscross applesauce.
Trying to get comfy.
Yeah, crisscross applesauce.
Okay.
How's that? Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
He's doing pretty good for a big-time fidgeter. I'd say he's hanging in there. All right, so the first game that I want to talk about a little bit is called Story of a Gladiator. Now,
yeah, I've done really good in this game.
Yeah.
I'm to level 3 now.
Okay.
Like the third world.
Third world, not just level 3, but the third world. And what is it like? So I'll put some images on the screen during the review, but what's the game like?
The game is like you have to. So you're a gladiator. What's in the name?
And you're in a pit.
Yeah.
Which is the Colosseum.
And then you have to battle other people, but you have some power-ups and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
Like whenever you get up to level 7.
So it's kind of like a wave shooter, right? But you're a gladiator, so enemies are coming at you, and you got to clear them all out. And they could be lions and other gladiators and all sorts of things.
I'm only at the part where there's people though, but there could be lions.
Yep. There's all sorts of things because in the real Colosseum, there were they put a gladiator out there in the middle, and they'd have him fight another gladiator with everyone watching, and sometimes they'd unleash a lion or something into the pit, and the crowd would go nuts watching these people attack. Have to fight it out.
Yeah.
So this is a video game for that.
Some people are really strong, some people aren't. So that's why the game can get easier or harder.
Okay. So do you get to pick your gladiator?
At first, you get to make changes to him, and then whenever you're actually like really far out in the game, you can get some armor on him and stuff. New swords. I already have like a scythe.
Really?
Yeah.
You even said that right.
I have most of the armor.
Okay.
And
so your guy's pretty strong?
Yeah.
Now, just for those of you watching, and again, I'll have an image or two up on the screen. It's a cartoony looking. It's not very bloody. Is there blood? I forget.
There's a little
bit, but it's not like overly done. It's more of a kid-friendly style gladiator battle game, if you will. Cartoony and but a lot of fun. And you like this one, right? You said when you played it, you were like, I really like this.
I do.
So would you recommend other people play this game?
Yes.
That's hey. At age 8, he's saying do it. Now, he'll tell you if he doesn't like it, right?
Yeah.
Which
like seventh sector we're gonna talk about. I didn't. It's
not for you.
If you like a little bit of adventure and
so seventh sector.
A little bit. At first, whenever you first start playing the game, it gives you a little bit of a chill, but then I don't know the rest of the game, so I'm still only on the first part.
So I played a lot of 7th Sector, and I imagine after playing a few minutes of it, I knew you wouldn't like this one. Not yet. Maybe when you get a little bit older, maybe because it's just not your style of game.
Yeah.
But 7th Sector is you're basically a spark. And you are traveling through power lines, like power cables within buildings. And I guess you have a little bit of life in you or something because you're the spark, at least this is what I observed, or you're a robot controlling the spark. I don't know. But you're basically using mind games and puzzles to get this spark from point A to point B. And then there's all sorts of interactive missions within. So sometimes you're going through like rooms, right, along the cables on the floor or up the wall, and these rooms have people in them sometimes or things on the walls. You get to a point where you use your spark and you get to a computer, but it's locked. It's password. But you got to go back through the level, and you'll see on the wall there's a password. And you got to go back with your spark, and you got to jump lines, and there's all sorts of things. It's a really, really interesting and cool mind game type thing. It's not too expensive, and I definitely recommend this one for people who like puzzle games or just something to think outside the box. If you like getting your brain worked a little bit, because while it is it's a video game, it's a puzzle game, big time, and there are some challenging puzzles. A lot of it has to do with timing, right? So sometimes there's like electric circuits popping, and you got to go under them, or time it just right to be able to get from A to B. Rhythm-based puzzles within, so you hit a button at the right time and it unlocks something, but you don't know that's the case. You have to figure out that the rhythm is the unlock. You just hear, and this thing is happening, and you do something, and it doesn't work, and you try, there's no instruction. And then you realize, oh, every time I do this, it works. And then you keep doing that, but that's not good enough. You have to build it. And then you're like, oh, okay, it's a rhythm. Tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. And so you progress through the levels by figuring shit out.
Mm-hmm.
And I really do love that kind of stuff. So I played that game for a couple of hours, and probably pretty close to the end. I don't know. I never looked it up to see how long the game is. But I definitely will go back to it.
I only got outside of the building. That's all I got. Did you get farther from outside the building?
I mean, I went all through. Yeah, I played for a while. Now, Wesley liked this game as well, which was interesting because I knew that Jagger wouldn't, but Wesley was like, he was really into it. Now, when he got to some difficult puzzles, he just put it away. He wasn't interested, or he wanted me to do it. But he liked traveling, and he liked when he did figure some of the simpler puzzles out. I mean, he's 5. And he was figuring some stuff out. He was like felt really accomplished. So hey, some games are for some people, some games are for others. I didn't expect Jagger to like it, and he did play a little bit of it, so there's that.
I tried.
Yeah, he tried, and that's part of why we talk about it. He would say, would you buy this game?
Well,
No. You be honest.
Not really.
Yeah, he wouldn't buy this game. Me, I would. So there you go. The game isn't bad for me. Jagger wouldn't pay for it. I would. Now there's another game that I know that Jagger likes, and this one's a kind of special game. It's Williams Pinball Volume 5, and this one comes with Tales of Arabian Nights, Circus Voltaire, and No Good Gophers. So 3 different tables, but hey, it's pinball. I don't have to explain to you what pinball is, but Jagger, when you're playing these games on the Williams Pinball, does it feel like you're really playing pinball?
Yeah, it does.
You sit up a little bit?
Whenever you look on the TV, or if they put this on VR, which they did.
Yeah, we do have Williams Pinball in VR, not the Volume 3. Actually, no, it's not Williams. You know what? I don't want to talk bad or wrong. We do have Pinball FX version 2, V2 VR. We have a bunch of tables for that. This one specifically is on the Switch, and so, they have different tables in here. The Williams Pinball.
It's also on the PlayStation.
Also on the PlayStation, yeah, we got it on both. Thank you very much for the multiple keys there, and Zen Studios puts this one out. I remember when I was a kid, my mom and my brother and my dad and me used to play pinball all the time on the computer.
And your sisters?
They didn't play so much pinball, at least when I was around. But we really, we only had one computer. Mm-hmm. And, whoever got a chance, if come home from school, jump on the computer, play some Pinbot. I remember it was like Pinbot, and there was a whole bunch of different tables to play. Just use the 2 shift keys. Now you got the controllers and using the paddles. It's not much different than actually holding the machine and doing it that way. And when you have it in VR, pinball in VR, I love it. It's amazing. They put characters around, and so if you're playing like the Walking Dead table, you got zombies walking around the table while you're trying to play pinball, and it really feels like you're playing the game. You got to look around, and you got to, see where the ball's going. Well, in the Williams Pinball for Switch and PlayStation, you don't get to do that in-depth amount of playing, but it's like playing some pinball. So what do you think about playing pinball and the Williams Pinball tables on the Switch and the PlayStation? Do you?
I didn't play it on the Switch yet. I played it on the PlayStation.
And you loved it, right?
Yeah, I loved it.
So
I just wish there were some more things you could do, because there were only 3 worlds I could play.
Yeah. And that's, the Tales of Arabian Nights, Circus Voltaire, and No Good Gophers. It's a good pack.
I like the one that when you're in the haunted house.
Well, so there's other ones we have as well.
That's the one that Wesley was playing.
Yeah, there's other worlds as well, but on this particular pack, the Volume 5, it really is, to me, I enjoy pinball. It kind of doesn't matter what the table is, unless the table itself is really built difficult on purpose just to be a pain in the ass. But for the most part, these games react just like a regular pinball table would. It does a really good job of handling the pinball and handling the response to the different bumpers and things. There's nothing bad to say about it, other than we want more. Like he said, he wants more tables. I'm cool with the 3, but I also see... I don't know what that was.
That
was a witch cackling in the background, I think.
No, there's a witch.
We have a witch in the house.
Run!
But anyways, but yeah, it's good to know that we want more because we like it. So, definitely I say Williams Pinball Volume 5 gets a thumbs up from me. What about you?
Me?
Thumbs up double time. All right, now, we've been through Story of a Gladiator, and we've been through Williams Pinball, and we've been through 7th Sector. Now, there's one more. I don't think you've had a lot of time to play with this yet, but Hidden Through Time. Now, am I right in saying this is kind of like a Where's Waldo?
Yeah. It's like a try to find it search thing.
Try to find it search thing. So, okay. So, just like in these Seeing Eye books and Where's Waldo when I was a kid, which was really one of my favorite types of books to do, they built it into a video game, and it's moving and things. You have to like go in and out of objects like tents and whatnot to find the things.
Yeah, that's right.
So, but then you get to build your own little worlds, right?
Yeah, I did that for most of the time because level 2 is a little bit hard.
Yeah. So tell us about what, how does it work? Like, so they give you some images or something?
Yeah, they give you like for example, a rat in a stick.
Okay.
You have to go in and out of tents to find the rat. There's some toy rats, but those are not the rats.
So they have objects within the world to trick you, to make you think, oh, that's the one, and it isn't.
Yeah, because that happened to be in level 2.
And it's a very playful game, too. I mean, obviously it looks like it's for kids, because this type of game, but, I get into this kind of stuff, too, so I'm not afraid of saying it, and I'm going to be playing it, but,
And then you have to, you could shake. I don't know if you actually do this in the game, but you might be able to shake a tree to get a stick, and then you have the stick.
So you can, by messing with objects within the world.
Or they could have made you find a certain type of stick. Like there might be a stick with 2 leaves, but the stick has 1 leaf.
There you go. And that's, very similar to not just Where's Waldo, but all these Seeing Eye books where they'll give you an object and then they'll have a bunch of objects that look just like it, but isn't perfect. Another thing is, what was it? What's the name of that magazine we used to get from the Cub Scouts?
Boy Scouts?
No.
Boy Scouting?
No. Remember it had all the different objects, the finding,
No, I don't think it was that. I think it was
highlights for children. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah,
but that came from Cub Scouts.
Oh.
That's where I signed you up for that. And the Highlights for Children book, every time he got that, he opened it right up, goes straight to the stuff, and Jagger's really good at finding objects. He always has been. So
yeah.
I like that because it gives them concentration skills. It gives them, memory, because you got to remember exactly what the object is you're looking for. And it also helps with the dynamic aspect of thinking outside the box. Sometimes these objects are upside down or not in the manner that you think they should be. And so
I found my tablet.
I hid it way up there in the studio rafters. And he just found it.
Whenever you say, "Where's your tablet?" because I need to hook you up onto Epic for school. I don't know.
I had it the whole time and I forgot. And why did I put it up there?
So that I couldn't get it.
Because what were you doing?
I was sneaking onto Roblox.
Did you hear that, everybody? He whispered, but he said he was sneaking onto Roblox.
How could you forget it was up there? That's what Mama did.
It's been up there for 2 weeks.
And you even asked
and
for
I was sick. So, okay. Let's get down to the dirty here. Would you is this the type of game you'd say to get if people like the finding things?
Yep.
Double thumbs up from Jagger on this one, and I say give it a thumbs up as well. These games here, again, were given to me free to review, to talk about, and so I'll have some links and stuff available. I'll tweet them out at the Backlog Time, or at Backlog Time,
Is
sorry.
it just me, or is it very hot in here?
It is very hot in here, but that's because we have all these lights, and it's very expensive computer equipment. It's really hot.
Or maybe just because I'm wearing a onesie.
It could be because you're wearing a fleece onesie.
Yeah.
That could do it. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to cut away. We're going to let Jagger go about his business. He's done an awesome job. He sat here for 33 minutes without being a pain in my butt. And so I think that's a thumbs up to have him come on back and help us review some other games, because we have games coming in, and I just don't have a lot of time to play them all. So I haven't been actually taking in a lot of them. This is a little bit of a catch up here on this review session. So
I was gonna try to make us talk about the games that are up there on my tablet.
Ooh, okay. So what games do you want to talk about?
I thought they were a little bit too kiddish for people that actually just watch.
This podcast and this show is for everybody. So what are some of the games that you would want to talk about?
Talking Tom 2?
Talking Tom 2. It's been out for a while. Talking Tom started off as just an app where you would talk and it would repeat it in a high-pitched voice. And so you'd say, "Hey, how are you?" And I'll go, "Hey, how are you?" Like a cat.
And then you could you could feed it. It's like it's your house, but it's a cat's house, but it makes it feel like it's your house, but you have to feed the cat and you have to play games with it.
Yep. So, okay, I have a big question for you.
Okay.
What game did Mom just get for her birthday?
Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Oh boy.
I tried to play it. I was thinking about talking about it, but if I just played it, then we could
So
talk about it.
that's your number one item on your backlog right now, isn't it? To play
Yeah.
Animal Crossing.
The new Animal Crossing.
I would say that for the next podcast, what I want to hear from you, I want you to play some of that game when you get a chance. If you're allowed, you have to ask permission. When you play a little bit, can you come back and talk to us about Animal Crossing?
Yeah.
Because that'd be great.
I was thinking maybe like next time we do the next episode.
The next episode. The Chronic. The Chronicles of what?
Of
Narnia?
Narnia?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
You shouldn't. But you did watch the movie.
That.
Yep, that. So what about the movie? Did you like the movie?
Yeah.
The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe?
Yep.
Any other movies that you want to see that are coming out or that have already come out? Mr. Knee Up in the Sky? You saw Frozen 2. You like that?
Yeah. Maybe we could do the new Sonic movie?
Have you seen it?
No.
So that's on the backlog, the new Sonic movie. Yeah, I mean, we could probably go see that when the quarantine is up. Is it out in the theaters?
Yeah, it's out in theaters.
All
And
right.
also Spies in Disguise.
Spies in the Skies. Which one did you just see with Mom?
We just saw Onward.
Onward, and that's with the trolls, right?
Yeah, it's with the two kids that try to...
Don't give anything away. Don't give spoilers.
No.
Was it good?
Yes.
What did you like about it? How did it make you feel?
It made me feel very excited because... I don't know, I just liked it a lot.
Yeah, he doesn't want to give anything away. But he did like the way that it ended, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so for those of you who are worried about some sad endings, this
doesn't
isn't
have a sad ending.
no, this isn't The Last Dinosaur. That was a sad movie, right?
Yeah, that was very sad. The first part, like, where he lost his dad in the waterfall and stuff, that was sad.
Yeah, dinosaur movies, man. I love dinosaurs, but every time I try to watch a dinosaur show with him, like Walking with Dinosaurs, for example, they're like, here's some cute dinosaurs, and we're going to follow the dinosaurs, and a T-Rex comes and eats them all, and then Jagger's upset.
Yeah.
And that's the circle of life. Had to tell him and Wesley about where meat comes from. That was fun.
It wasn't me, it was him.
Well, I had to tell you, too.
Whenever I was young.
You weren't too excited about that.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
We
okay.
have to do it, though.
Yeah, that's how we live, right? We're meat eaters.
Right.
We don't have to eat meat, but definitely tastes good, so we do what we got to do.
For example, people who eat bacon.
Evil people who eat bacon?
Not evil people who eat bacon. I said, for example, bacon.
Oh, I thought you said evil people eat bacon. I eat bacon. I'm not evil. I eat lots of bacon. All right, I'm going to cut you to a commercial break. I'll be back in just a few. Thank you, Jagger, for coming on into the Backlog Podcast. We're going to have you back because you did a really good job. A year ago, he could not sit still, and I've been trying to get him on the podcast. But, yeah, you know what? He's a pretty good podcast partner.
Yeah.
What do you say?
I agree.
He agrees that he's a good podcast partner. All right. We'll be back, everybody. Jagger, anything else you want to say before we go? Bye? Or
Yeah, bye. Well, I was going to say that anyway.
okay, well, say it.
Bye, guys.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the podcast. Thank you for sticking with us and hopefully you enjoyed that first segment there with Jagger. And he's going to be a superstar. Got to start him off nice and young. So, but I wanted to, before I jump into some other games and some other discussion points on some games I got for review free, I just want to talk about the current landscape and the not get too deep into it, but just to say, I started this thing off a couple weeks ago, kind of laughing about it, making memes and jokes, and just thinking that this is just as crazy as the bird flu, swine flu, etc. Right? And I think a lot of people did in America. It's the boy who cried wolf story over and over and over again. The media just wants us to be afraid of everything. So when time comes, we're going to be afraid, right? Or we're not, right? I mean, when I was living in New Orleans, we had the hurricane come through the year before Katrina, and it was so bad, or they made it seem so bad, and it was so tough to get out of town the following year when Katrina did come. People didn't want to leave. They felt like, hey, every year you say it's going to be so bad, and every year it avoids us. So people get desensitized, And then the panic comes along. Oh, I'm on my roof. I'm going to, I need to be rescued by a helicopter. Yeah, I mean, when it's too late, shit hits the fan, So when the crossover goes from joke to serious, for me it was seeing NHL, NBA, XFL, which is on its inaugural season, its reboot, see it all stop. Multi-billion-dollar corporations and businesses halt overnight. Say, yeah, nope, we're not doing anything. We're not moving forward. We're closing the seasons down. UFC trying like hell to continue pushing forward with live events. You have the wrestling with WWE and AEW. They're doing live events, but they're indoors, no audience, which is a difference. Who would have thought, a month ago that we'd be here? The world changes quick in these circumstances. And I guess that's good, right? Good that we're showing that we can start to conform and do what we need to do, but it's also a bit of chaos out there. There's jokes and memes about people buying all the toilet paper. Well, I don't think it's right, but I don't blame somebody for going in and buying every roll of toilet paper available. Capitalism has become quite the fancy these days. So the first thing people are like, oh, I'm going to make a ton of money. Or I don't want to be caught without toilet paper. The media, the news made us think that it was going to be bad. There are some truths to the story, like from what I've read, some factories that produce the toilet paper are under lockdown or whatever, they won't be producing. But, there's plenty of toilet paper to go around right now. People don't need to panic buy in that sense. That's my opinion. But, I looked at our stock when they started saying toilet paper is going down. I looked on Amazon. I looked on Walmart. We didn't have a whole lot of toilet paper in the house. I went and bought a couple packs, just to be sure. And look, now they're talking a week from now we could be under quarantine for an entire month. So if you can't really go to the store, or if there's no toilet paper at the store, so I don't blame people for going out and trying to buy some essential products and things that they're just not aware. What's life like? Well, in America, the necessities and those types of things, toilet paper, paper towels and stuff, you don't ever think that that's going to be gone. And the second you realize my store doesn't have any, well, then there's panic. Next time you see it, you're going to buy as much as you can. You don't want to be caught without it. Some people don't keep 15, 20 rolls available at all times, and some people do. And it's just awkward to be in that argument where people are like fighting over toilet paper and shit. It's nuts. But people are scared. And they're being told to be scared. But I'm not scared because I'm being told to be scared. I'm scared because I'm looking at the landscape and I'm seeing that the biggest companies in the world, who I firmly believe have more information than we have as general public, they wouldn't shut down at this level for this long for optics. They wouldn't be doing it unless they had concrete evidence that this is important and necessary. And at the beginning, it felt like it was just optics. It felt like, oh, we gotta panic. We got something coming up, and we gotta panic for it. And now it doesn't feel like that anymore. It feels like this is the calm before the storm, really. And what storm, right? People are dying, and there's no access even to this day. I see on some threads and Reddit and other places that they're increasing the amount of availability of testing. To give you a little quick side story on my issue, I was sick. Long story short, my son had the flu. He was diagnosed with the flu a couple weeks ago, probably 3 weeks ago now. And I was really nervous when he started getting sick, just because I was reading stories that this stuff is super contagious and spreading like crazy. But there was no cases in Florida at that point. So I'm like, oh, well, we'll be fine. It hasn't really hit over here. And then it was like, ooh, case in Florida. Ooh, case in South Florida, this and that. And we went to Disney, right? So we go to Disney early March, just 3 weeks ago now. And at that point, it wasn't that big of a deal still. It was just being heightened up in the news, but we weren't running out of toilet paper yet, that's for sure. And so we went to Disney as a family. And I come home from Disney, and a couple days later I get sick. My son gets sick as well. So Wesley was sick, and then Jagger, who you saw earlier, he got sick. And I thought, oh, well, Jagger caught what Wesley has. And then I got sick. And one day I was feeling fine. The next day I was feeling terrible. And the worst part was it hit me right here. It felt like I got punched right here in the face. I felt tender. And you would say that's sinuses. Well, I went to the doctor. I went to a walk-in clinic. I was sneezing. I was coughing. I felt like more than it was different. Maybe that was anxiety causing some of the fear and driving it. But it was like, now here we are just 2 weeks ago. Things start heightening up in the news. It's like, oh, people are fucking dropping like flies. I'm going to be 40 in a couple months. I'm not a young, chipper man. I'm getting older. I'm in my mid years. That's not a lie. I don't look it, I guess. Some people tell me, but I feel it. And as I get a little bit older, the more vulnerable you get as a grown-ass man, it's scary. And so here I am, sick as a dog, came out of nowhere. I go down to the walk-in clinic to get a Tamiflu to help curtail the flu. And they do the test, the swabs, and they say you don't have the flu. But they don't just say you don't have the flu. They come back when they tell me that I don't have the flu, and they don't come within 5 feet of me, and they're wearing masks. And that was it. Get out of here. We'll give you go to Walgreens, pick up your Tamiflu, and pick up a Z-Pack, the steroids, and get out of here, basically. You'll be fine. I said, should I go to the hospital? They said no. And I wondered why. Maybe, he said just go drink a lot. Stay away from people for a couple of weeks and drink a lot of water. And I'm over here thinking, what is M. Night Shyamalan got? How is water the cure? Yeah, hydrate. But I felt like garbage, and it was really scary. I've gotten the flu, I've gotten sick before, but they're over here saying, oh, well, it goes from that to next thing you know, you're on a ventilator, and then you're dead because there's no cure, there's no support. So that happened. And I don't know. I mean, I tried to start relaxing a little bit. Once I got the steroids and stuff in me, my body started feeling better. And it was last Tuesday. All of a sudden, Tuesday night, my last medicine. Wednesday, I was off the medicine. Thursday, started feeling sick again. Real sick. Just odd. And then by Friday, I woke up Friday, I felt like I was going to throw up. I haven't had nausea in so long. Some people say, oh, nausea's it's not on the list of things, of symptoms for this COVID-19. I found plenty of lists, multiple, where symptoms are nausea, fever, which I had, headache, body aches, this, that. I just had weird things like my whole jaw area was just sore. I felt like I've been punched here, but I didn't really have sinus issues. Didn't have leakage, I had a cough. I don't know. It was just weird. And so I This was today is Sunday. So this was on Friday. I started calling around. Looking, can I get tested? What do I do? I have kids. I have a wife. I don't want to die. And then all of a sudden, someone sends me a message. I click a link, thinking it's a joke. And no, a guy, 34 years old, drops dead. Who was, he was at Disney the same day as me, at Magic Kingdom or whatever. And, maybe I'm a wuss, but I got scared. I was like, what if, right? Unlikely, yeah, but maybe not so unlikely. This stuff is supposed to be super contagious. People don't really know and don't realize how contagious it could be. But all I'm going off of is articles that I've read. Who knows if they're accurate or right? I don't know. I don't see the studies. I'm not taking part in the studies. I'm just trying to trust in the information being sent my way. And so anyways, long story short, there was nothing I could do. If I had it, it's gone or going away, hopefully. If I didn't, I don't want it. I don't know if Jagger had it. I didn't bring him in to get tested for the flu. I just assumed he had the flu. And he was basically down and out for 3 straight days. And it was different than the flu for him. He's over here telling me I'm weak. I can't lift my arms. My body hurts. I'm weak. He just kept saying that. He's fucking 8, saying he's weak. So, I don't know. End of the day, I'll tell you what. End of the day, we're being forced into quarantine. People are being sent home from jobs. Other people are being sent to jobs to work, grocery stores, UPS, shout out to Buddhist and the like, people like that who making the world go. I mean, Amazon, I just saw that the other day that they had someone test positive inside of an Amazon factory. Does that mean Amazon factories are going to be shut down? If so, the local pool place down the road, they posted on their website, we're going to be proudly open to help you service your pool during this difficult time. It's crazy that every place is shutting down and the pool place is like, we're open, we're good to go. And that's the way the business works. Oh my God. Ow. I cleaned my grill the other day. And I just absolutely destroyed a blister on my hand. Ooh, boy. That hurts. Just caught it right on the edge of my desk. We gotta get Jeff down here and fix this desk. I don't know what alphas. I don't know why we're paying him. Damn. Yikes. Alright, let's just get through, because that hurts. So, anyways, as testing facilities become available, what's the benefit of finding out if you got it, right? I guess if we're supposed to be staying in quarantine, I've already been next to my kids and my wife. I'm trying not to go out. I had to go to the get medicine the other day. Gas, I got some essential stuff, but outside of that, I'm not touching people. So that's where we're at, right? I did try to get tested. They said on the news, Jacksonville's going to have free testing available. It's a drive-through. I go to the website and it says, oh, but before you get this free test, you got to be authorized to do so. It's a secret location. And to be authorized, you got to go to this website. $50 to make a phone call to a nurse who will then decide if you get to get tested or not over the phone. I hesitated. I was like, you know what? And then I said, you know what? This was Friday. I said, well, I want to know. I do well enough to be able to find out. $50. And I called. And I waited on hold for an hour and a half. It hung up on me. And then I called back and it said, we're closed. We're closed. And I said, closed for the weekend. Interesting. Life or death. They're making people work at UPS. They're making people work at the grocery store. But in order to get tested, you gotta go through this $50 hoopla to be approved to be tested, and they close. Something's wrong. Something's wrong with that. The governor said that we were going to have that access. I just can't believe that's the route that was taken. Feels really fucked up. Outside of all that, I didn't get tested. Here I am. I'm alive. I'm good to go. I'm right now. I have allergies going on. I hope. I'm sneezing. I had to pause it actually a little while ago. I hear a lot of people coughing, sneezing when I'm chatting with them on video games and this and that. Maybe we're always doing that, and now there's just a sense of focus on it. Well, hopefully, I was thinking, if people are going to be quarantined and tucked away for a long time, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it's unprecedented. Vegas is shut down. L.A., New York, I mean, they're shutting down cities. They're talking about possibly enacting the National Guard and enforcing curfews and quarantines across the country, across the world. And maybe this will cause, I don't know how it works, but maybe some of these viruses will die out. Some of these flus and shit just won't have a place to go, and they'll run its course and be gone. I don't know. Maybe that'll cause worse things. But I like to think positive and say, maybe some of the shit that causes the common cold, if we're just not all out and about passing it around, maybe it'll fumble off to the sidelines and we'll have our fourth down with it. You know what I mean? And then, looking at gas prices, we're seeing gas prices are bottling out. Bought gas for like $1.40 the other day. Couldn't believe it. And Tom Brady signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So 2020, man, I'm telling you, it's nuts. It's weird, but it is here. And wow, we are already one quarter in. We're almost to April. I'm just waiting for this old April 1st to come out and be like, just kidding, everyone go back and do your own thing. I have a feeling it's not going to happen, but one can hope. So where does that bring us? Well, brings us to gaming, and I'll be right back, and we'll talk more about it. All right, everybody, thanks for the sticking through that sombering last 10 minutes or so, but it's got to be said, and here we are. So, okay, the next couple of games I'm going to talk about are games that I've been playing, that I've played a little bit or a lot of, and I got them for free. Just because I get a game for free doesn't mean I'm going to say good things about it, and just because I get them for free doesn't mean I'm going to play them a lot. If I hate it or if I don't care for it, I stop. Okay, that's part of the review process and part of the backlog, to be honest. The Backlog Podcast, what I always envisioned that we would talk about, we tackle like the real deal, right? Are these worth it? Are these games worth playing or buying or whatever? I don't really get into price too much, unless it's obvious that price is not fair. We talked a lot in the early days of the podcast about some of these, like the Nintendo console, classic console, SNES classic console. The price did not match the value at all, not even close. But we're talking $60 game, $50 game, $30 game, $20 game. If a game that's $10 or that should be $10 is $60, I'll talk about that and I'll factor it in. But in these are just games. And I think they're priced within their accordance. Some of them are older. Some have been out for a bit. And so the prices may fluctuate. You might get a deal on them or whatever. Some of them are still out, $60 or whatever. But you go do your own research on the price. What I want to talk about, high level, fast paced, is it worth it? Do I like it? Did I put time into it? And will I continue to put time into it? So here we go. This War of Mine. Now, this is a game that's been out for some time, about 5 years, to be honest. And it's made its way to different consoles and whatnot. Now it's on the mobile devices. I got a free copy for the PC with the last DLC, the final cut. Came with the whole package. I put a little bit of time into this one. It's kind of fun. It's a weird... it's got a weird feel to it. It's a survival type game. And it's like this left and right. You walk in and out of buildings, but you see it almost like if you had a dollhouse at the home and you can open it up and you cut the house right in half, you can see the second floor and the first floor, whatever. And so you're walking in and out. You got to go up the stairs, get to the second floor. You have different characters. You have different objectives and different missions. And this game is somewhat depressing. You know, it's a war-based game where it's not good versus bad or anything like that. It's not this whole thing. It's just about survival. It's about taking the people you have in your group and surviving and making it. So you have a small group of survivors. You lead them through, try to find food and get home. You know, get your house in order. And you take each of these survivors. They each have their own little skill sets or whatever, and you try to use them to best suit your needs, right? So one might be able to be better off at foraging for food or whatever, so you would use them. When they die, they are gone, right? They don't revive, and so when you lose a survivor, it makes it a little bit more difficult. So you send people out on runs every day, and they come back, and you get that stuff that they bring. But while they're gone, you're over here trying to take order in the house. And you know, if one of the survivors gets in trouble, you can risk sending out other survivors to help them, but they could be lost for good if you do. And so you got to make judgment calls. And so these things happen. These events and scenarios occur, and there's no one right way. You don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. There's no, like, every time you send them out, they're going to die. You don't know. It's got a really cool visual aspect to it that I like. It's got that definite, that feel of despair. The visuals are they're interesting. And I'll put something on the screen here for you so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's got this really cool, clean, crisp look to it, of despair for sure. And the final cut brings more stories and more DLC, more characters to the mix that add to the fully immersive type of game that's been around since let me see here, 2014 or 2015, 2014. So this game's been around. It's stood the test of time. People are still playing it now. It's showing up on mobile devices and stuff. I would definitely say look at the price if it interests you. Check out some video and stuff, but it's worth playing. Definitely on the mobile too. It actually adds a really cool dynamic to it. But yeah. So anyways, it's unique. This is definitely a really cool minimalistic type game, but it has such a deep baseline to it. The stories are cool, but in a very eerie way. Definitely some captivating moments, to say the least. The new content is good. I didn't really play the game prior to this, so I don't have really any baseline to say whether the new content adds much more additional stuff. It's kind of like Horizon Zero Dawn, for example. You play the hell out of that game. Then they come out with DLC. Yeah, if you like the game, you're going to want more of it, right? But yeah, 11-Bit Studios did a really good job with this one. I'd say pick this one up, especially if you can, you can get it anywhere, right? Your mobile, PlayStation, Xbox, or PC, wherever you feel like you want to do it. But it's easy to jump right in, and it's a cool game. So check it out. It's called This War of Mine Final Cut, and I say grab it. The next game we're gonna talk about is VR Ping Pong Pro. I'm only gonna talk about this one for just a moment. And I think we talked about this before, but just want to throw it out there. No, tracking's not good. The gameplay does not feel like it should for a VR ping pong game. Constantly missing the ball or just misjudging it, and a lot of these VR games have a lot of really good tracking. This one does. This one doesn't. Makes me want to get sick. See, I'm over here choking on my own breath. Skip this one, okay? VR Ping Pong Pro is, they could do a lot better, and I'm looking forward to a better version of this type of game in VR. But table tennis and things like that, I'd like to see some more dynamics and the ability to versus and stuff like that. I mean, if you can box people, you should be able to easily play a fluid game like this against somebody else, and it just feels like they're trying too hard and not meeting the mark. So I would say skip this for now. It's been out for some time. You might find it on Super Deal or something like that. It's worth a couple bucks if you're gonna just for the fun of it, but it's just more frustrating than it is worth it to download, I would say, and wait for a different one. Okay. Next game we're going to talk about is The American Dream for the PlayStation VR. This one it's weird. Okay, it's been out for a year or two. It's been out for a while, but I did get this one to play and review and talk about for free. Everything you do is with guns. Whether you want to flip pancakes or drink your bottle. You start off, it's this progression game where you start off as a baby and you kind of work your way through life. But everything you do, it sensationalizes like the American dream of using guns. And as a guy I'm not a big gun guy, I get the humor of it, I guess. And I get the desire to poke fun at that. But as a game, it's a game. It's you're moving through. You might pop some stuff up into the sky and you gotta shoot them all. These mini games that come through, or you gotta clean your room and you gotta pick up your clothes, but you have no arms. Everything's with guns, so you're shooting your clothes off the ground. It's weird. And I mean, it's not what America's all about. It's not the American dream, is to own guns. But I get that it's a joke. It's set in a classic 1950s theme, and it does have a very 50s feel to it. There's characters in the game, mom, dad, blah, 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 baby, dog, and they're all cardboard cutouts, very Fallout-ish looking. It's worth, $10-20. The VR games in general, as long as the tracking is good, which tracking is really good in this game. So it's just imagine you're at a carnival or something, you're using the two guns. It's a lot like that, and it's worth picking up. This isn't a junk game. It's just I don't know. Maybe it is the selling point, is that the joke is that America loves guns. Even as a baby, you're shooting things with guns, but I could do away with that. A little tired here. But yeah, I could do away with that. But it doesn't bother me so much. It's just I don't find it as funny, I guess, as some people could. Next game we're going to talk about is Transport Fever 2 for the PC. This is to me very similar to most sim games where you're trying to generate a city. So this is it's called Transport Fever 2. It's the classic idea. You're building a city. You're trying to make transportation. So you have all different means of transportation in this one. You got airlines, you got subway system, you got train, you got cars. But you're building cities. You're trying to make the best transportation options available and still simulate the city around it. Ease of entry. If you're good with simulation type games, you'll jump right into this one. Jagger, for example, wouldn't be interested. I had him play a couple of these different types of SimCity type games, and he's not into them. I loved SimCity when I was a kid. I mean, there was one called like Sim Ant. Holy cow. I couldn't find that anywhere when I was a child, but I loved it when I got my hands on it. And Jagger just doesn't. He's not interested. He doesn't care about the simulation because it's too much almost. It's like you have to control the mood of the people. You got to control, not just build the city and generate revenue. It's like every little, you can freaking zoom in on a person, and get their name and everything. It's just nuts. These games have so much dynamic to them that it's too much. It takes away from your backlog. I wish there was a scale. I wish you could dynamically change how much you want to get in depth for real and really control that at a high level, so that if you wanted to play this game just for fun, like an old SimCity, original SimCity, throw some stuff down, build your city, generate revenue, done, boom, we did good. Or if you want to get down to the nitty-gritty and start worrying about moods of people and individuals all across the board, let it get to that level. I don't care. I think it's cool to be able to sit, but when you have a real functioning city, you don't care about the individual. If you're mayor, you can't. You don't have time. So I say this is cool, but not a $60 cool. But these games, some people love them at that level and rely on sim type games to get their rocks off. And for that, I say if that's your style, this game fits. The visuals are amazing. It looks so cool. Okay, and getting in and being able to start from this really high in the sky and be able to get right on in and be in the train or whatever. And so those dynamics are really cool. The water glistening looks amazing. So your cities visually end up looking really, really good. But I say I just don't have the time for simulation type games. Not anymore. Not right now. Because at the end of the day, it's going back with what I was talking about with Jagger. The sense of accomplishment goes away super fast. I guess at the end of the day on these ones, you can set a goal and get there, and then you feel accomplished. But it's never ending. It's just like, the city's never. I mean, when is the end of America? Like, when do we accomplish America? Look how well we've done. Every city, there's a lot of work that can be done, but we're the most powerful country in the world. So what's next, right? Do we win? No, you just got to keep trucking, and that's how these games are. It's just I have enough in my regular life every day to deal with, to then really focus on this. So I like to play sim games. I like to get started with them. I like to build. I love all that aspect. And this does that very well. Mentally, I just don't have the time to invest in caring about it at a deeper level. So I don't play this one too much, but I could see people who love this definitely playing this one a lot. So there's that. But we're going to change gears here. We're going to jump into a game called Mosaic. Now this one, visually, holy cow, depressing, but that's what it's about. It's about this guy, and his mood is just down in the dumps. You basically, you're walking through life. You have a terrible job, and you hate everything about it. And there's mini games that kind of simulate the boringness of jobs. And this mundane personality or mundane lifestyle of this person. And there's little things that happen along the way that enhance the personality, and maybe you'll see some sunlight in the game, but it's a very dark, dreary game. And it's filled with let me see here. So basically you're trying to escape this dreary lifestyle, and so there's different things you can do throughout, but you're basically just taking this walk, this journey, and everything you do ends up being interrupted by work. And it's this crazy, you're just sitting there at work and you're dealing with the monotony of work. So as you make it through the day, and you might stop to listen to some music, or swim, and there's some weird interesting side things that kind of replicate, I guess, the feeling of the overabundance of life. This game is super depressing. It feels depressing, but it's done well. So if there was a game that could replicate what depression feels like, boom, Mosaic. It captures that. At the end of the day, doesn't feel like there's a way out. Doesn't feel like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. So I have not beaten it, but I do like the visual, the power of what it's trying to represent, and I do like it's a very simplistic way of putting life. Now, not everyone hates their job. Not everyone thinks their job is the most boring thing in the world, but this represents those that do. Those that just hate going up and, oh my God, gotta get up out of the bed to go to work. It's just like, okay, it does it. It does that. It makes you definitely understand what that feeling is like. So This one, been out for a little bit now, and you can definitely find this. I think it's on my cell phone. Don't quote me on it, but I have it on the PC. Got it for free, and I like it. I will beat this one. I'll play it through. I just don't. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to encourage you to go play something that's gonna make you feel bad, but this is definitely worth trying. And if you like the simplistic nature of some of these more underground style games, Krillbyte Studios made this one, and they did a pretty good job of it. So I say give it a shot, especially if like this side-scrolling walking. It's a slow-paced and with some mini games tucked in that are kind of pointless, but they definitely help hit home what the game is trying to capture, and that's try to capture the mosaic of life, right? So, interesting one. Definitely an interesting one. Now, the next game we're going to talk about is Conglomerate 451. All right. Cyberpunk is coming out. And this game is not Cyberpunk 2077. Don't get me confused. But this game does a good job of taking the visual aspect of what Cyberpunk is and what that game is going to be like, and it gives us a baseline for a turn-based type. It almost felt like a new age Cyberpunk Final Fantasy, old school Final Fantasy, where you come across some characters or some enemies or whatever, and you pause, and it's like your turn, then my turn, and your turn, then my turn, and each one you can hack their brains and you can hack the enemy, and each character that you have on your team has different skill sets, same as the enemy, and so you got to pick and choose how to defeat them, and then when you defeat them, you move forward and continue on the game. I like it. I want to say that this game was interesting in the sense that I like the what it's trying to represent. I like the basic nature of it. The only reason I wouldn't go back and play more of it is there's just other games that are a little bit better or a lot better. It's not a terrible game, but it's funner for me to just go in and play Apex, for example, Apex Legends over top of something like this. However, I can see people absolutely loving this game. People who really like the retro feel, the old school style gaming, and the turn-based, RPG style. Maneuverability and movement, I don't like it. I tried it with both the controller and the keyboard and mouse. Wasn't a big fan of how it felt moving around. Definitely an interesting game. Definitely worth trying if you like that. However, like I said, I probably won't play much more of it. Even with DLC and stuff, I don't know. I'm not super interested in going back and having this it's a slow-paced RPG in my opinion because of the controls. However, I will say that Cyberpunk feels really good, and I do like that. So check it out. Again, a lot of times I say watch some videos and stuff. I'll put some imagery so that you can see it, but yeah. Okay, this is what I started to get a little confused. There's another game called Curse of the Dead Gods, and this game is a lot of fun. Okay, I enjoyed this one because this gave me a very old school feel, in the sense of, I say old school, but it's like it has a retro feel to it, where almost like a Doom, or not a Doom, I'm sorry, Diablo-esque, where you're running around top-down look, right? And you have your character has different weapons that you pick up along the way, different skill sets and things, and there's a permadeath, right? So when you die, it brings you back to the beginning of the level, the save point. But when you save, it saves with the shit that you got, okay? So if you have 25% health or whatever, that's where you're at. I like the gameplay here, and I like the attacking. It's just real time attack. So you see enemies coming at you. You're using your different skills and stuff, and you progress through. And as you get to the end of each level, you have a choice. Do you want to up your stats, or do you want to risk it for some money, or whatever, and some fun? And so as you go up that skill tree, you get to choose every time you gain a level. So it gives you that control. When you up your stats and stuff, you're risking. You're obviously building your character, but you're risking some of the other stuff that you can enhance. So, this one right here is pretty fun. Curse of the Dead Gods. I definitely think that I want to see the price of this one. I don't know what it is. $15. Definitely worth $15 if you like that Diablo-esque feel. Looking down. So yeah, you go through these levels. You're carrying a torch. You can barely see, and you have a choice. Do you want to use your torch, or do you want to put your torch away and use your weapons? Sometimes your torch will work wonders on the enemy, and then sometimes there's pyres where you can go light it with your torch, put your torch away, get your weapons out. Maybe your weapon's a shotgun. Maybe your weapon's a sword or a staff or something. So yeah, you can become rich and powerful, or you can become just powerful. Depends on how your gameplay is. But you can get greedy in this one. You can get super greedy. You can become a super god. And when you get to the end, you challenge the god. These final boss fights, which I only did one, was very interesting, tough, a pretty difficult game because there's no, when you die, right? You go back. So definitely check this one out. I like this one a lot, and I'm going to play some more of it. Curse of the Dead Gods. And that one is by Pastech Games. Focus Home Interactive is the publisher. And we got one last one here. And this one comes to us. It's called Wartile. I got this one on my Xbox One. And I've been playing a lot of Xbox One lately. Especially Apex Legends. And I've been playing some Call of Duty on the Xbox One. Warzone. Because the Xbox One it's pretty powerful, and I'm using my PC to do a lot of rendering and things, videos and stuff. So yeah, I like to. I don't want that dog to get started, but no, I'll use my Xbox to play the games while my PC is doing other stuff. But I can still use my PC to play some of these games. But Wartile is a single player or multiplayer game that is basically like dioramas that are built with tiles. That's how they stated it. And so you have different characters, and imagine you're just a board game, and you're going from A to B to A to B, and you have just like in a real board game, it would say, oh, this character can only go this far, and this character can only go that far. You can move 5 tiles with that one, or whatever. It's real time, so as you're moving, the enemies are moving. As you do things, the enemies are doing things. And so you accomplish different feats as you move throughout the level. And sometimes it's attacking, sometimes it's healing, sometimes it's defending or supporting. But visually it looks really cool, feels really good. And I have a friend that plays a lot of board games. I suggested to him, definitely go check this out, because this is the type of game that really integrates that board game feel into a digital economy, a digital world, and it's done very, very well. It replicates the feeling of playing a tabletop game, but it's faster, right? You don't have to set anything up. We had a game called Dominion. Takes forever to play, takes forever to set up, but this has a very similar feel to that. But it's all done for you. So it's immediate combat, it's immediate playing, it's immediate integration into the game, and it's really cool. But yeah, there's different battle boards, and each one is, like I said, it's a diorama. It's broken up into tiles, and then just like in chess or whatever, you can move throughout. This one is definitely, I'd say, if you like board games and you want to play board game type games on your console or your PC, definitely pick up Wartile. I will definitely get back into this. I would want to play this one with a friend, probably, just to see if that's more up to speed with what I'm hoping for in the game but it was fun playing solo. I played solo for a while, and I had a lot of fun. So there's a story kind of baked into it, and it has a lot of replayability. So Wartile, definitely pick that one up. And that's going to come to the end here. The last minute or so, I just want to say, stay safe. Obviously wash your hands, use your hand sanitizer until it's all gone, and then just wither away and die. Just accept it. Accept that the coronavirus is going to take us all. Or don't. And don't don't feed into the fear. Get sick, hydrate. M. Night Shyamalan, like I said, he's got the cure. Every movie he had to do with water, and how water was the cure, or the fix. So, aliens, they came to America, or came to the Earth, and we were able to take them out with some squirt guns. So, outside of that, what else is on the backlog? Okay, definitely been playing a lot of Apex Legends, trying to get my skill set back up there. I played it when it first came out. It took a long time off because it wasn't cross-play. Got the Xbox One X, threw it on there so I could play with my boy the Alpha and his crew, and have since just I love it. I really enjoy it. I like the dynamics of the different characters within. For those of you who do play Apex Legends or have played it, and you say it's either for you or against you or whatever, this conversation is for those who haven't played it or haven't played too much of it. My friend Nick came and played with me the other day. He had never played before, and it took him a little bit. There's a learning curve. It's not Call of Duty where you just jump in. It's a battle royale. Every game you start with no weapons, and you land, and you got to find the weapons. It's very easy. There's crates. There's like loot crate type things, and or whatever they call them, storage bins, and you open them up. You get your weapons. You get backpacks. You can get grenades. Arc stars that are kind of like grenades, and thermal grenades that throw fire. You can get different types of guns: handguns, sniper rifles, shotguns, light machine guns, heavy machine guns, energy guns, and then you can get different armors. You get knocked down. When you get killed, you have a period of time that when you're downed. So say you have 100 health or whatever, right? And then you get down to 0 health. Well, now you have a period of time where you're knocked down, and your teammates, if they're still alive, can come get you. If all teammates are knocked down, then you're over. But if one person is alive and two teammates are down and bleeding out, that teammate can come and save you. If you get eliminated, say you're bleeding out and then the guy shoots you until you're completely dead, your teammate can come get your card, because when you die, a storage box pops up. Other enemies can loot your box, or teammates can loot your box, take your stuff that you picked up along the way, and then they acquire it. But when you die, they can take a card off your box, and then they can go to a reboot station, and they can bring you back. You start with nothing when you come back. Sometimes you're right near where your death box is, so you can go straight to it and pick up all the stuff you had on it. Other times, you just got to start from scratch. And there's only certain reboot stations throughout the map. And as the circle closes, which is random, circles closing in every few minutes, you got to get to the circle or you're going to die outside of the circle. And it forces action. Each game is only so long because the circle continues to close in at a set pace. And it comes down to like King of the Hill. Last team, last man standing wins. And rinse, repeat. There's challenges, there's things to do to enhance the game, but it's free to play. And the only thing you do to pay for it is to buy visual add-ons, visual aspects, like skins for your guns, skins for your outfits. EA owns this game, and they overcharge big time for a lot of the stuff. So, the Battle Pass and stuff is not really worth it, in my opinion. I do it to support the game, because that's how they make their money, but in reality, it's not a good Battle Pass. Fortnite definitely takes the cake there. I haven't played Fortnite in months. I don't care to. I'm not even interested anymore. I used to get really, really interested in the competitive scene. It seems like that's completely dried up. I have been looking. I Google it. I search to see, and the game went from being fun to watch to just being like kind of annoying really quick too. Really, really quick. This season has not captivated me. But I also noticed almost all of the people I had on my Twitch list who were the big time streamers for Fortnite, there's 2 or 3 of them that play it still on my list. and a lot of the other people are playing different games like Call of Duty Modern Warfare, or the new Warzone, which I'll probably get into more in the next podcast. But Warzone is a new battle royale by the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare game, and it does a lot of things right. There's a couple things that I would like to see differently, but again, I'll get into that more. Maybe I'll get somebody who's been playing Warfare to talk a little bit about it. But Warfare is free to play as well, and I've been playing a lot of that. I like that. I like these battle royales, but they get in the way of the backlog because, again, you're playing over and over and over, rinse, repeat, jump, dives, live, try to win. But at the end of the day, you're not beating a story. So I want to take more time, try to focus on being able to play some actual games as opposed to just, playing these battle royales. But hey, I like them, so I'm enjoying them. I do feel accomplished. I do feel like I'm learning because I'm getting better at Apex, and I'm going to be able to hold my own and play alongside people who are much better than me. But hopefully I can build my skill set and be able to hold my own alongside them, as opposed to just look like a silly guy. And last but not least, I'll just say my top three: Days Gone, God of War, for the PS4, and Spider-Man. I gotta beat those. So this week I'm gonna try to tackle and defeat Spider-Man. I might do that offline. I might play while I try to beat it, but I need to beat that game. I just want it off my list. It's a game we talked about a year and a half ago, and I should have beat it a long time ago. I didn't. I wish I did. It's a really fun game. One of the best games of all time when it came out. High scores. But it's a story-based game and a lot of challenges. I completed almost every side mission. So I just have the base game, the main story to beat. So I get off my ass and I'll get that done. Feedback. I really hope to get feedback. I love streaming this stuff live on Twitch. So definitely feel free to come on to the Twitch channel. It is twitch.tv/backlognetwork. That's where we do stuff like this podcast live and Babyface in the Heel, which you can see every Thursday night at 9:00 p.m. And that's a live show with Ricky Reed, who's my cousin. He's the referee. And he sits between my cousin, my character, Jimmy T, and the Alpha. The Alpha is an exceptionally gifted and amazing person. He's really funny. It's such a pleasure to be able to sit alongside of him and do anything creative, because he's a super creative guy, but also one of the nicest guys that you could ever meet. He's really just a good person. But the Alpha is the highest paid esports entertainer out there, and Jimmy T is pain in the ass, thorn in his side. So they talk about Dynamite every week. AEW's Wrestling Dynamite TV show. So that is another thing for the backlog. Watch yourself some wrestling. If you enjoyed wrestling as a kid growing up, you like that old WWF, or if you're in a younger crowd and have only known it as WWE, AEW brings a new pizzazz to wrestling that it's almost like never seen before. It's a great combination of old school WWF, ECW, and this new breed of risk-taking, high-flying, never know who's going to win type of action. They're pulling some great storylines, they're pulling some great matches, and they're building people who you may have never heard of before into superstars, and I just absolutely love it. So yeah, that's Backlog Network. You can also follow me on the Backlog Time Twitch channel. That's twitch.tv/backlogtime, where I play my video games and stuff. I haven't been doing it as frequent as the past, but I also get in and play some, or do Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, After Effects, and Premiere. So, just bookmark both of those and make me happy. Okay? So, peace, everybody. Thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead and close out the show. And until next time, let me know what you think.